Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
You may be surprised, because I am, that the athlete in the world who has become the first billionaire is Cristiano Ronaldo. I did not know that, and I did not have that on my bingo card. So after his contract that he just signed, it means that he's the first athlete to ever earn $1 billion playing sports.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This one's for you, Tommy Reynolds. I know you're a Rochester Americans guy, but the big team, the Buffalo Sabres, at home against the listless Rangers. Can we get plus 102? We can in overtime.
Look at that.
Knockaroo does it again. Buffalo over the Rangers.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I told you Vladimir Guerrero would hit a home run. He hits a home run on his first pitch. 2-run shot, 2-0 Jays. And I gave you Suarez earlier. I'm telling you, Scott, Contreras last night, Story the other night, bro, every night I've been hitting these home run props. And not the easy Ohtani ones at old plus 190. Right. These are plus 450s, baby.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You love it. You love this network. You love SportsGrid. You love the Early Line. You love Donnie Wrights Out, and you love Joe Ranieri. Why? Because you love sports, and we bring it to you each and every morning, Monday through Friday, for 2 hours, getting you caught up on all the latest. It's a lot of fun to do it, and specifically during football season and on a Monday, the topics, Joe Ranieri, they are endless. And as long as we keep that energy that people will enjoy, get your week started in style with the Early Line. That's the logo. That's the motto.
And we got a lot still going on here. 2-2 here tonight, right? 2 NFL, 2 Major League Baseball, mix in some NHL, NBA will be here before we know it. It's getting good, Donnie. A lot of fun here in the middle of October.
A lot of fun for the Kansas City Chiefs at home last night at GEHA Field at Arrowhead, a 30-17 win for the Kansas City Chiefs, which saw Patrick Mahomes toss 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, a wild brawl to end the game, but the Chiefs are back to 500 at 3-3, dropping the Lions overall, the unbeatable Lions, as we thought, to 4-2. Yeah, they got 2 losses, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, they do. But, I mean, make no mistake about it here. Mahomes and the Chiefs are looking the part again, very much so. How much longer can we take advantage of it? That remains to be seen. But there is, Rice will be back next week. So all of a sudden now the full complement of this offense, which is playing at a ridiculously high level right now, ever since Worthy got back. Yeah, I mean, dare I say, if you look at his numbers right now, Donnie, I mean, Mahomes, 845 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception over the last couple of games since he got Worthy back. What's he going to do when Rice gets here?
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, it's wild to see it how it's going to play out. We know Kansas City probably going to end up winning that division and making the playoff run, and Taylor Swift was in the audience, and everybody's playing well. We'll get to that at a later time, but they're 3-3 now. Things are looking up for them. How about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-1, a 30-19 victory over the 49ers? But the question is, like, we can get to Baker Mayfield. How unbelievable he's playing with literally nobody at wide receiver and nobody in the running back room left, and they're still winning. But at least they're winning football games. The Niners now 4-2. Credit them. Injuries to key players at key positions and the best players on your team, religiously every week it's happening to them. And Fred Warner, maybe the best overall inside linebacker in football, he's down for the season. The injuries just don't stop for Kansas City. Okay.
And let me just say this, too. But there is a positive here for one 49er, I think. The Warner injury was just awful. And by the way, the defense crumbled from that point on once he left the game, Donnie. But am I crazy here, or has Mac Jones just proved to everyone with the right coach and the right system, he's the starting quarterback in the NFL, Donnie?
Yeah, no, look, Kyle Shanahan deserves so much credit. Like, Mac Jones is your backup, 347 in the air yesterday, keeping you competitive. But my goodness, Baker Mayfield was just absolutely astoundingly good. Anthony Richardson, maybe he can be as good as Mac Jones. Maybe he can be as good as Brock Purdy. But you have to play football in order to show your talents, not warm up in the football game when you were going to be the third quarterback anyway and get snapped in the face by your band that you're warming up with here. No, not the band on the side of the field like, hey, get hit with a drumstick. No, like a rubber band. Smack! Breaks his orbital bone? Sheesh.
Donnie, I've used those, but those things are dangerous, man. Like, if you're not paying attention, next thing you know, it's like a giant smash. Like, ow, you got to be kidding. And this all happened just before the kickoff here. They lost another player in a freak injury, too, during the warm-ups yesterday. So, kind of crazy what's going on there. But they still won.
What else is crazy? Yeah. You know what else is crazy, Joe? Your Jets there overseas. Maybe we wish we had a band that would have smacked Justin Fields in the face so he couldn't play yesterday and gave the Jets an opportunity here. I don't know what's going on with the offense. It's pretty clear to see your quarterback cannot be Justin Fields, but the head coach who was brought in to sort of right the ship and play sound fundamental football, they stink on offense, and they don't even allow their players to even make plays because they want to get to the locker room at midfield before the half. Ooh, Jets fans got to be hot about that.
Same old Jets.
Ridiculous. It's the same old Jets. Exactly. It's the same old. This ain't going to be the same old Jet. Yes, it is. Only this is a worse version than we have seen in years past. When you have minus 10 yards passing in a game, Donnie, and you would think, well, did you bring in the backup? Right? Isn't that what Tyrod Taylor is there for? Did you try anything? Nope, didn't try anything new. Just let him get sacked 9 times for minus 10 yards. You got to be kidding me.
You do have to be kidding, but no, we're not kidding. It was that bad for the Jets. And by the way, guys, they were winning in the fourth quarter of that game where they couldn't move the football. Make it make sense. It does in here. Drew Aller, he's not moving the football much now. Devastating ankle injury for him, as we talked about earlier with Fred Warner. He's down for the season. Off to the pros he goes. And a career where he thought he would put that coronation season together ended up being such a disaster.
Total disaster. But you know what? A big reason why they weren't any good this year has to do with his inability to get the ball down the field. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens and what the pro scouts think of his ability here on the NFL level, because it wasn't good this year for Penn State. But unfortunately, once he went down and they lost that game, well, then, Coach Franklin, bye-bye. He had to go as well.
Yep, James Franklin out. Don't feel bad for him. The best spot a coach can be in is being fired with multiple years left on your contract and multi-millions of dollars. Oh, it's going to be a shame to move. The guy's going to get $50 million to walk away and do whatever he wants for the rest of his life. 1-0 at Penn State, pulled the wool over their eyes, continuously getting extension after extension from being in a stadium that's filled with 110,000 people, a fervent fan base, to do what? Playing a horrible Big Ten, beat all the cupcakes, always lose to the better teams, and continue to make money. The fraud that's James Franklin is finally out of Penn State, and we'll see where they go from here.
I just, if I hear one more conversation about how, that paying these players is just going to, schools are going to go broke. You're paying a coach $50 million not to coach anymore. $50 million. Yeah. In what world does that happen where a coach gets paid $50 million for not doing the job? Unbelievable.
And all people say, like, hey, well, favorite games, he's not winning. Understand this. Like, I understand where Penn State's coming from, right? It's not the 80s and the 90s under Joe Paterno where they're constantly a top 5 team and as an independent before they even joined the Big Ten. But when the expectations are your coach makes this amount of money, we have endless support from our athletic department. We sell it every single weekend, and we are a big brand in college football. The expectations, Joe, shouldn't be like, yes, you're going to go 12-0 every single year and win a championship. But you know what those fans probably should eventually expect? Like, maybe we'll beat Ohio State. Maybe we can beat Michigan. Maybe we can win the Big Ten. Maybe we can make deep runs in the playoffs. And for the people out there who I love, and again, there's always going to be people that always back Penn State no matter what. James Franklin won 2 playoff games and got them close. He beat SMU and Boise, who would never make a playoff on any game. They got the absolute dream role last year and still could not make it happen. So this year, when you see them lose to Oregon, it was really close at home. That's the MO. They lose games that they're supposed to win in those close environments here. But also, 2 straight losses, Joe, as 20-point favorites to embarrassing football teams that you're not known for football at this point, UCLA and also Northwestern. He had to go. But let me just ask you this, Joe. Do we have any ideas who they're actually reaching out for? Because if they have aspirations, we'll just go and get the best coach out there. Who would be willing to come to Penn State? It's big money, but people is it Mike Norvell is going to leave Florida State and go there? Is Dabo going to go to Penn State? Who are they getting?
The guy that just beat the team that beat Penn State, Signetti, will be at Penn State before 70? It is all said and done.
It's crazy.
He will be there. By the way, before it's all said and done. He will leave Indiana.
Remember the Bill O'Brien years? Yeah, big Bill O'Brien back here. Get out of here. I'm interested to see where Penn State goes. But the one thing I do know, Penn State is better off. You have a better future that James Franklin is gone. Beat the cupcakes, lose every year to the big opponents. Sooner or later, you're found out as a fraud. But the biggest fraud of it overall, Joe, was the fact that this guy kept getting extensions for losing every big game he was supposed to win. And then there's the Las Vegas Aces. We don't know if they're winning big games, losing big games. The season's over. Asia Wilson, see you next summer, shorten the season, end it before Labor Day. I guarantee we'll pay much more attention on the early line. But since you don't do that, it's like a tree falling in the forest. Nobody's watching, nobody cares, and nobody hears about it here at WNBA. Make the changes. Understand that. More hot topics next. This is we're only getting started. It's Armchair Monday right here on the early line. We'll be right back.
Tell the coordinators what you want. I just don't get it. I don't. These coaches are so chummy with each other that they don't want to throw their guy under the bus. You're getting paid the $10 million. He's not. Take a rein and change the game plan. Right. If it's not working and the offensive coordinator is not getting it done, you need to have input.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
You love this segment. You nicknamed this segment. You sort of put your mark on it with the rats with the cash.
There's rats.
Right? And they're the garbage games. Although one of the games...
What are you saying, rats hang out in garbage? What's wrong with
you? Yeah, they do. Hang out in New York City. You'll see it.
A lot of rats in New York City. That's the way it is, man. Hey, we don't want to throw any names out there. Exactly.
Philly, too. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
I think Kendra Miller's role continues to grow in this offense. So I think as you're looking at bye weeks continuing on and looking for running back depth, as always, we all know the dynamic can change in a minute, right? We've done this so many times in the last couple of weeks. We were adding Woody Marks before his game. We were adding Brashard Smith last week. I still want to add Brashard Smith this week. I want to add the guys that I think have upside for the second half, and Kendra Miller is definitely one of those backs.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
I apologize to our fans. We need to do better. That's all you need to say, Scott, right? But Tua goes out there, my kids love me. I'm rich. I don't care. You got your dumbass coach coming out here, and we play to win. You got to win the game, and you got to win. And, dude, the Dolphins press conferences make it way worse. If I was a Dolphin fan, I just want to punch these guys in the face.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
College football, leaving out the conversation there with James Franklin and Penn State and him getting fired and who the next head coach is going to be. Sometimes we forget that they lost to Northwestern at home 22-21. Wait, Northwestern came in a 3-2 record. Stop it at that point. Penn State is 0-3 in the Big Ten, back-to-back 20 6-point favorites, losing back-to-back games. First time in, 50 years, whatever the topics were at that point here. James Franklin is out. Drew Aller is injured. And for a team that was supposed to be so talented coming in, Aller's coming back. Ooh, could he be a top 3 pick in the NFL because he's an unbelievable quarterback? How about maybe the best running back combination in the sport here? Nothing has worked out for Penn State, embarrassing themselves once again in front of that big-time paying crowd. $700 million, I believe, is the investment that they're making into the stadium. That place ain't going to be filled. They play football like this, Joe.
It's kind of crazy, but everyone saw the writing on the wall a million miles ago, right? The minute that every time a top 5 team came walking in, whether it was at Appen Valley or on a road, and you couldn't get it done. But this was the icing. It's one thing to lose to top 5 teams all the time, Donnie. It's a whole nother thing to lose to a winless UCLA team who absolutely boat races you. And, then you follow that up with a loss at home to Northwestern. That's unforgivable. That is taboo, especially given the fact, Donnie, they paid multi-million dollars to have Alar and the rest of that offense and some of the guys on the defense to return because they thought they had a shot at actually winning a national championship.
Oh, boy, shot to win the national championship. Now, typically you get one loss here, you're still in that race. And who has that one loss now? It's the Oregon Ducks. They lost at home in Autzen. One of the longest home field win streaks in the nation is now done. Indiana goes west, 6-0 in the season, 3-0 in the Big Ten. The Big Sig comes out with maybe his biggest victory here. Elijah Surratt, 8 catches for 121 yards and a touchdown helped. Indiana knocks off Oregon. That's pretty wild. Love to see it.
We had said, I mean, listen, it's I Googled Cignetti. He definitely wins, and he definitely won that game there in on Oregon. Not an easy place to go on the road and win. And we talked about it all last week, Donnie. You got to show me, so, like, if this is real, if we're to buy into Indiana, and great, you can beat all the cupcakes, but unlike James Franklin, let me see you go on the road and do it to a top 5 team. And you know what? They did it, and they did it pretty well, too, against Oregon.
You know who's alive? The Texas Longhorns actually picking up a big victory for themselves, 23-6 over Oklahoma. Arch Manning efficient in this game, 21-27, 1 touchdown, no interceptions here, chipped in with 34 yards on the ground. But the defense was the superstar of the day, and maybe John Mateer just wasn't ready to come back yet from that broken hand.
Yeah, and ironically enough, it wasn't the hand that was the problem. His timing was off. He was throwing the ball into triple coverage. Had nothing to do with the ball. He wasn't throwing ducks or anything like that. He obviously, the hand was good enough to play, but when you miss a couple of weeks, you're not as sharp. And that defense of Texas, they handled business against them there. So unfortunate. One guy did exactly what he needed to do to get the W. The other guy, unfortunately, might have cost his team the win.
Bama's back as well. Opening day lost to Florida State, 5 straight victories, which included a top 15 opponent in the Missouri Tigers. Missouri came into this game 5-0. They leave with a loss. The Alabama Crimson Tide improved to 3-0 in SEC play. And Ty Simpson making a name for himself, Joe. Another big week, 23 of 31, 200 yards, but 3 touchdown passes. Jan Miller back with 20 carries for 85 yards, and away they go. But how about this? Missouri did cover the line, Joe. Isn't that the most important thing?
Yeah, but don't let the score fool you. This was not indicative of a close game in any way, shape, or form. Bama handled business here easily throughout this game. And you're right. Simpson is quietly becoming, Donnie, I don't know, one of the best quarterbacks in all of college here. This is one of the best passing attacks we've seen in a while for Alabama.
Yeah, looks good, man. Like the rebound from their season looked like they were going to fire their head coach. They got some big-time wins under their belt, once again headed towards a college football playoff. The Buckeyes, they're headed towards the playoffs as well. Another victory here, 34-18, a covering over the Fighting Illini. Julian saying 19 of 27 for 166, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Had a couple guys on the ground. Bo Jackson, great name, 47 yards. C.J. Donaldson, 44 yards. But the defense really once again showed why Ohio State is such a threat. They'll score points on offense, but that defense is elite.
They are, Donnie, and that's always the case here with Ohio State. And Illinois, it's one thing to drop 30 on USC's defense at home. Yeah. It's a whole different thing to expect to do that to Ohio State. Another example of all of those returning starters on Illinois' side of the ball there. And what did that do against a whole bunch of kids who've never played against one another at Ohio State? You got absolutely dismantled at home.
You know what I do like here, Joe? We're going to bring up the AP Top 25 poll. Every single week it builds. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. When Notre Dame lost to Miami on opening day, oh, man, they can't lose that game. Miami's the number 2 team in the country. All right, well, what's going to happen next year? And, oh, no, Texas A&M, Notre Dame lost to them. Well, they're now number 4 in the country. Notre Dame is going to make the college football playoff as they rocket up the board with 2 losses, now sit at 13th, Joe. The top 5, Ohio State, Miami, Indiana. Football team, number 3 overall, A&M and Ole Miss, man. This is setting up to be a really fun finish to the college football season, and I'm going to stand my ground. Notre Dame's going to play USC this weekend. Notre Dame will win again. Notre Dame's on the charge and will be, Joe, in the college football playoff, and I called it all along.
Yeah, I mean, moving up to number 3 now in that top 25
Let's
poll,
go.
that is the highest ranking in Indiana football history, and well-deserved. I mean, let's face it, the Ducks, by the way, I think they're still top 10. They fell to number 8, but, you know, the U was idle, shall they say, but they still remain number 2. Number 1 and number 2, Ohio State and Miami. I don't know that that's changing anytime soon.
By the way, in recruiting too, like kids always look at the final scores and, you know, coaches getting fired and change around. Like Mario Cristobal has always been a very good recruiter, but now Mario Cristobal sits in the number 2 spot on a bye week, just making phone calls and going like, did you watch Florida State? Yeah, they lost. Did you go over there and watch Florida? Yeah, they lost. You don't want to be with those programs, man. So maybe the Miami Hurricanes are back here, but they still have to finish the season, which has always been an issue over the past decade. Love college football, exciting times, but we got a doubleheader on Monday Night Football. Let's get down to the big A. Talk about that next.
Tell the coordinators what you want. I just don't get it. I don't. These coaches are so chummy with each other that they don't want to throw their guy under the bus. You're getting paid the $10 million. He's not. Take a rein and change the game plan. Right. If it's not working and the offensive coordinator is not getting it done, you need to have input.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
You love this segment. You nicknamed this segment. You sort of put your mark on it with the rats with the cash.
There's rats.
Right? And they're the garbage games. One of the games.
What are you saying, rats hang out in garbage? What's wrong with
you? Yeah, they do. Hang out in New York City. You'll see it.
A lot of rats in New York City. That's the way it is, man. Hey, we don't want to throw out any names out there. Exactly.
Philly, too. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
I think Kendre Miller's role continues to grow in this offense. So I think as you're looking at bye weeks continuing on and looking for running back depth, as always, we all know the dynamic can change in a minute, right? We've done this so many times in the last couple of weeks. We were adding Woody Marks before his game. We were adding Brashard Smith last week. I still want to add Brashard Smith this week. I want to add the guys that I think have upside for the second half, and Kendre Miller is definitely one of those backs.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
I apologize to our fans. We need to do better. That's all you need to say, Scott, right? But Tua goes out there, my kids love me. I'm rich. I don't care. You got your dumbass coach coming out here, and we play to win. You got to win the game, and you got to win. And, the Dolphins press conferences make it way worse. If I was a Dolphin fan, I just want to punch these guys in the face.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Night football doubleheader. It's how we get down. Make sure you watch the boys all along the network today. We're going to get you prepared. That always starts with the early line, setting the table for the rest of your SportsGrid day. Donnie right side along with Joe Ranieri. Let me ask you this question, Joe. because it used to be like once in a blue moon, right? Sometimes to open the season, a doubleheader on Monday Night Football. Do you enjoy the doubleheader on Monday Night Football? Or can it be, it's white noise for you? Yeah, football's on, so I'll watch it. But I know some people get excited that there's a doubleheader. It doesn't move me all that much. Am I disappointed? No. But I don't love it all that much because at this time of the year, you have so many other things going on also at the same time where you don't really need football necessarily to carry the day. But how do you feel about the doubleheaders on Monday Night Football? Could do without them? Okay. What is it?
Long as I'm not watching the Jets or the Tennessee Titans on a Monday night, Donnie, I am good to go. The bar is set very low, I think, for me there, mostly because I'm scarred as a Jet fan. But as long as they're competitive, I'm all for it. I mean, what's the other choice on a Monday night, Donnie? Right? If you're going to play one regardless, you might as well give us two.
You might as well. 7:15, 8:15. I can't complain about that. But let's get started in game number 1 down in Atlanta, Joe. Buffalo and Atlanta, of course, it's going to be Josh Allen versus Michael Penix, a 7:15 start tonight. The total opened up around 50.5. Still some outlets showing 50s, Joe, but primarily 49.5. Here's the line, though. Opened up at 4.5. We've now dipped to 3.5, which isn't a big line movement. Still stays over that key number of 3. But I'm interested to see where this line actually ends at the majority of most outlets tonight. Why? Because 8 out of every 10 tickets are coming in on the Buffalo Bills. Most people like to bet on the Buffalo Bills, but it feels like a really good spot for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Buffalo did lose that game to the New England Patriots. They're looking to bounce back, but this is a road game against a team coming off a bye and is rested with one of the best playmakers in the NFL, and Bijan Robinson coming out of the backfield. How do you start with this game, Joe, tonight with the line? Call it 3.5 in a total, just under 50.
Well, it's interesting, Donnie, that you're right. I mean, the betting public has looked at the Bills as a great bounce back spot here against Atlanta, who we still remember having been shut out a couple of weeks ago against this Carolina team, which, P.S., by the way, they're sitting at 500, so that loss doesn't look nearly as crazy as it did a couple of weeks ago. But the Falcons had extra rest. The Falcons have had an opportunity to put it together. I don't trust this Falcons team. I don't believe Penix is the answer just yet. And I don't believe that this coaching staff is one that can put him in a spot to win this game against Josh Allen. So, let's not forget, the public is not always wrong here. I would not be wanting to sit there and hoping Atlanta can do enough in the fourth quarter with a young quarterback to beat Buffalo and Josh Allen. So to me, it would be Buffalo a pass, but I do like the total more than anything else.
How do we play the quarterbacks tonight, too? Because we should get offense, Joe, a total close to 50. And again, that nor'easter, blowing winds and rain, not going to happen because it is a dome, so a fast track tonight, which you love to see. Michael Penix coming in live at a 225.5 passing prop here. Josh Allen, 228.5. So similar instances, just a little bit difference on the juice. Penix to throw 2 touchdowns, plus 134. Allen to throw 2 touchdowns, minus 132. Which quarterback are you more comfortable tonight in his props, Joe?
Well, I think both of these guys we've seen already. I don't think Josh Allen has thrown more than 30 or 31 passes in a game, attempts here. Why? Because they run the ball, Donnie. They run it better than just about anybody. And that's what Atlanta wants to do, right? Atlanta wants to run the ball. They want to wear down this Bills defense. That's who they are. Buffalo here, I don't think Josh Allen's going to have to drop back a whole lot tonight. I think they're going to establish the run, and I would look to fade both him and Penix at this point because I don't think we're going to get some sort of wild shootout here tonight.
Boy, I tell you, you get incredible, leverage on Buffalo props. Like if we're talking about 225, let's call it for Josh Allen to throw tonight. Leading receiver, Keon Coleman, 38 yards. Khalil Shakir, 48.5 yards. James Cook, 12.5. Josh Palmer, 18.5. You don't need much to go over. From Atlanta side, you're going to get Drake London at 72.5. And I do think that Buffalo Bills defense is vulnerable at times. I would look towards Drake London, but always, you see that Bijan Robinson number at 31.5. He's going to be heavily involved tonight. Any pass catchers, Joe, that you're looking at possibly tonight between these two teams?
Yeah, I like Keon Coleman, too, as well here. I mean, Shakir's going to get the volume, right? But I think Coleman is the guy that they're going to be looking for down the field here against this. I mean, A.J. Terrell is back for Atlanta, but I still think they're beatable in the secondary. Coleman is the guy I would focus on.
Yeah, it should be a fun game to watch nonetheless here. Once we get back from the break, we're going to take a look at some of those touchdown scoring markets here that we can take a look at tonight with Bijan Robinson, James Cook, and Josh Allen. And also, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader, which is the Commanders taking on the Chicago Bears. Feels like I'm going to talk about the Bears in weeks here. Rested and ready? It could be. We'll be right back.
Hopefully these go better. I'm smashed before one on these games. I cannot believe that this game destroyed me. I can. Why did I get involved live? That's on me, not
That
you.
is on you.
All right.
That's on you.
You didn't have to run up the score. I said it was on me.
It was on you.
All right.
You just didn't see the writing on the wall. Knee it! Let's get out of Dodge!
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Can I get an ISO? Come on. Give me the ISO over here.
Give
right
me the
here.
ISO. He wants the camera.
Look, I'm going to get nice and comfortable right now. I've been telling you people out there, yes, you people, about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. My connection to the Irish growing up as a kid. I hated that team. But they called me at the network the most unbiased man here, which means I'm giving you the information straight from the mouth here. You don't have to go anywhere. You get it from me.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You're looking at Joe Burrow being the guy that I was in on the beginning of the year. Clearly, that is no longer an option. So where are we looking on this board? And I keep landing on the same thing, which is, Baker Mayfield's been kind of the story this year. Think about this. He's plus 950 for MVP. They look like right now one of the, if not the most formidable team in the NFC.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
I apologize to our fans. We need to do better. That's all you need to say, Scott, right? But Tua goes out there, my kids love me. I'm rich. I don't care. You got your dumbass coach coming out here, and we play to win. You got to win the game, and you got to win. And, the Dolphins press conferences make it way worse. If I was a Dolphin fan, I just want to punch these guys in the face.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Buffalo Bills, Atlanta Falcons. Big game here for both of these teams. Buffalo looking for a bounce-back victory. Atlanta saying, hey, man, stop running away with us, Tampa Bay, right now, even though they're so injured. The touchdown prop markets, which is what everybody loves to look at on Monday Night Football. Bijan Robinson, minus 185 price. James Cook, minus 155. Josh Allen, around a plus 100, followed by Drake London and Tyler Algier. Is it just easy to say the minus 185 on Bijan? But that's a heavy price point. Anybody, Joe, even down the list, including those tight ends for Buffalo who like to get involved, catching your eye tonight.
Yeah, it's interesting here, right? I think Cook has got to be an automatic because inside the red zone, that is likely where they're going to go. But the tight ends have played a big role so far this year with Josh Allen and that offense. So it wouldn't shock me if Kincaid gets in that end zone there. But I do I'd certainly like Cook to at least have enough opportunities to make it worth laying that price.
Yeah, he should, too, because you're looking at that second there. By the way, Atlanta has a decent defense this season, beefed up there in the draft. You're getting one of your best cornerbacks. So I do like that approach where cornerbacks are back and looking at the tight end process. For me, I always like to say, you know what? You got two tight ends that are viable in the red zone. They're plus 220 each. Take one of them there, you get a 2-to-1 price back. That's a fantastic night. So maybe that angle of taking a tight end here for the Buffalo Bills could make some sense. But that's game number 1 tonight, Joe. As we said, we have 2 games tonight that we're going to take a look at, the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders. This is the 8:15 game going to be played down there in the nation's capital. Drizzle to start the game, rain throughout the game possibility here, wind speeds sustained of at least 12 miles per hour, but those gusts are going to be much higher than that. It's always tough to predict because in the morning here in the Northeast where I'm at, it's rainy and it's windy. If that storm moves through and gets a little bit easier, you might get a bonus here where some of these guys can say, you know what, we expected high winds, they're not here. We expected rain during the game, it's not here at this point. Or even, Joe, as we like to take a look at, is it going to rain to start the game and then stop in the second half where we can have an advantage? But you take a look at the number in this game, -5.5 on the move towards Washington and a total of 49.5. How you play in this game between the Bears and the Commanders?
So the problem with this game, right, is that if you're backing the Bears, you're trusting that Caleb Williams will do something that he has not done very well in his career, Donnie, and that is play on the road, win on the road, even be competitive on the road. He's got 38% success rate on the road here. He's got interceptions all over the box scores when you look at it. He's coming off an easy matchup with the Raiders, in which he averaged less than 6 yards per attempt. This is going to be tougher here. Washington ranks number 2 in the NFL in creating pressure on the quarterback. And you know what's going to happen there. And once Caleb Williams is under pressure, you understand what's going to happen that. So this is tough here. I do trust Washington more than I do Chicago. And Chicago's getting some reinforcements back on the defensive side of the ball. It would be Washington or pass for me, but it would be nice to see Caleb Williams grow up and win a road game convincingly at some point in his career.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's one of those where you're expecting to step up an extra rest time here. You should be prepared for this game. And Washington is still banged up just a bit here. Obviously, Terry McLaurin's down. He's your top wide receiver. Deebo Samuel coming into this game questionable with that heel issue. Maybe that flares up and you might have an advantage. But it is 5.5. I do lean on the points tonight, to be honest, because I do think maybe if the Commanders win this game, I do think it will be close into the fourth quarter. I'm just not sure about the 49.5. You put this game in a dome, you're probably looking at the over, but there's nothing worse. And it's like, hey, man, I want the over. And drop over the middle because the wind carried the football and it was wet out here and it went through his fingertips. We all get that, Joe. But if we're taking a look here at some of the props, which include passing props for both of these quarterbacks, 221.5 for Jaden Daniels, 234.5 for Caleb Williams. If we look at the touchdown market, of course, it's always listed at 1.5, plus money on Jaden Daniels and plus money on Caleb Williams. If you're looking at a quarterback tonight that you want to back, Joe, who is it?
It would definitely be Jaden Williams. I mean, I'm not a Caleb Williams guy at all, especially on the road. And I just gave you some of the numbers from last week there against a much easier team to throw against in the Raiders, and he still couldn't average 6 yards per pass play. So, it's going to be dink and dunk city, I think, for Chicago here. In the meantime, Washington, you got to like it. I mean, you mentioned no McLaurin, right?
Yeah.
But I think Jaden Daniels has more than enough weapons to be able to hit these numbers here across the board. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this the game that the Bears lost last year on the Hail Mary at the end of the season, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that was the Eberflus head scratcher where that was the end of it? And we're going, you got to be kidding me. So maybe a little revenge for Chicago here tonight as well.
That was the downfall of the Chicago Bears. They had a really good record, going to win that football game, and actually at the same time propelled the Washington franchise onto the NFC Championship game at the end of their season, which gave them a win and sort of peaked them up. Roma Dunes at wide receiver, Joe, he's listed as the leader in the clubhouse in the odds market at 67.5, followed by Deebo Samuel at 58.5. So there is some value down the charts. Always like Zach Ertz, 27.5. You take a look at Luke McCaffrey, maybe a backup wide receiver that can get a little bit extra targets here with some of the top guys down at 28.5. I like Roma Dunze. He's clearly the 1A on that football team. That might be a way to look. But again, looking at the passing props and all that, it's like, man, I just don't want to get burned by a lot of high winds. You saw yesterday an ugly performance between the Rams and the Ravens in that same area where that, turning up, some rainy conditions, some windy conditions. I just don't want that to pop into it. But any wide receiving props you're looking at tonight in this game, Joe?
Well, I mean, there is no doubt as far as usage goes and target share. Rome's got it heads and tails. He is the favorite target of Caleb Williams, right? So whether it be red zone, whether it be in need of a third and short, third, four, third and five, this is the guy that he's looking at. But Dan Quinn knows that. And again, the problem with Caleb Williams has always been pressure in his face. And Dan Quinn is going to bring. That's what that Washington defense is all about. They blitz at one of the highest rates in the NFL. They're going to be coming after him again. To me, this has got to be one in the trenches, given the weather situation. Anytime touchdown at plus money, I don't think he's not scored in a game yet this year for him. plus money, it may be worth a shot going that road, if anything.
How about the rushing props? And usually it's like, okay, let me look at the running back position, right? DeAndre Swift, 46.5. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 69.5. But then you take a look at Jaden Daniels, 46.5, and Caleb Williams, 24.5. If that field is slick, that is such a major advantage to a quarterback that can scramble. Why? The pass rushers. You can't get that bend out there to say, you know what, I'm going to beat this offensive tackle. You go down and lose your balance and slip. That's a free lane here for that quarterback to get out of the pocket here. How are you looking at the rushing props tonight here, Joe, for this game?
Well, I think Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is a guy that you got to look at here, given the fact that the Bears defense is allowing, are you ready for this? 6+ yards per carry right now this year. Not good. And you know they're going to want to play a little smash mouth football. And you mentioned the wind, the rain. It's more conducive to this thing being a battle in the trenches than it is some sort of high flying, oh, let's drop everyone back 40 times and throw the ball. No, I like his running style against this defense of the Bears. He's a guy I'd look to key in on in the backfield.
How about this? The touchdown market, Joe. And again, we're dealing with a game that's close to 50 points right now as it's listed. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is a -170 price. He's expensive. He's the only guy that's juiced. Everybody else, plus money, starting with DeAndre Swift at +125 and Debo at +120, along with Jaden Daniels. A lot of plus money in the marketplace tonight for a game that's posted at around 50.
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy, right? And I do think also, if we're being honest, Jaden Daniels keeping it and getting it into the end zone is also probably not a bad look here, Donnie, for an anytime touchdown. So Swift has actually come on as the season has progressed here. The running game has kind of been MIA for him. But I think Krosky-Merritt is the guy and will continue to be the guy for Washington. But don't be shocked if Jaden Daniels sneaks into the end zone.
2 games on Monday Night Football, Bills, Falcons, followed by Bears and the Commanders. And at the same time, we got a doubleheader in Major League Baseball. 1 game in Milwaukee, 1 game into Toronto. And we're going to break down and handicap Major League Baseball next. So much going on, so much excitement. It's why you tune into the SportsGrid Network and the Early Line and Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside. That's how we get down, people. Come on back. Let's talk baseball.
Hopefully these go better. I'm smashed before 1 on these games. I cannot believe that this game destroyed me. I can. Why did I get involved live? That's on me. Not
that
you.
Is on you.
All right.
That's on you.
You didn't have to run up the score. I said it was on me.
It was on you.
Right.
You just didn't see the writing on the wall. Knee it! Let's get out of Dodge!
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Can I get an ISO? Come on. Give me the ISO over here.
Give me the ISO. He wants the camera.
Look, I'm going to get nice and comfortable right now. I've been telling you people out there, yes, you people, about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. My connection to the Irish growing up as a kid. I hated that team. But they called me at the network the most unbiased man here, which means I'm giving you the information straight from the mouth here. You don't have to go anywhere. You get it from me.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You're looking at Joe Burrow being the guy that I was in on the beginning of the year. Clearly, that is no longer an option. So where are we looking on this board? And I keep landing on the same thing, which is, Baker Mayfield's been kind of the story this year. Think about this. He's plus 950 for MVP. They look like right now one of the, if not the most formidable team in the NFC.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
I apologize to our fans. We need to do better. That's all you need to say, Scott, right? But Tua goes out there, my kids love me. I'm rich. I don't care. You got your dumbass coach coming out here, and we play to win. You got to win the game, and you got to win. And, the Dolphins press conferences make it way worse. If I was a Dolphin fan, I just want to punch these guys in the face.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball underway. Of course it is. It's the playoffs, but the ALCS and the NLCS now officially underway. At least one of those sides has already had a game played. That's the ALCS. If you're watching last night, how about that? Toronto scores in the bottom of the first inning, takes that 1-0 lead. And then we wait. Second inning, third inning, fourth inning, fifth inning, till the sixth inning, till Toronto played at 2 runs, then tacked on another in the eighth. A 3-1 victory for the Seattle Mariners on the road, now taking back home field advantage and a 1-0 series lead against the Toronto Blue Jays. How about that pitching performance last night by Mr. Miller? 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Love to see that.
Well, it wasn't looking good in the first inning. I think he had 20. It was a 27-pitch first inning, and he was kind of lucky to be able to get out of it with just I believe the first pitch of the game. Springer took it yard, and then it was like, oh boy, here we go. But he really settled down after that. Gave them, 6 innings, and gave his team an opportunity to be able to compete, and that they did against that bullpen. But Seattle's bullpen comes in, Miller, Spire, Brash, Munoz, they all come in, and man, oh man, very impressive stuff by Seattle. And I think Toronto kind of let one get away there last night, but surprise, it ain't the New York Yankees. I do expect a better effort offensively from them coming up in this game today.
Sometimes, Joe, right, riding emotion here. You saw that Game 5 victory, which went endless into the night, and Toronto was waiting on them. But also understand this. I do want to give a shout-out to Aaron Judge and also Cal Raleigh for their playoff performances so far. Like, Cal Raleigh's hitting 400. Aaron Judge hit like 500. So 2 worthy MVP guys have good runs here. We'll just see if, Cal Raleigh can actually cash this in. But when I sent a tweet out that's like, yeah, we like extra inning baseball, but the ghost runner was there for a reason in the regular season because you can't have long games. Also, situational hitting is atrocious in Major League Baseball. And yes, the Mariners still won, but they were 2 of 10 with runners in scoring position last night. Like, look at the batting averages in the playoffs for that Mariners lineup, which looks really good on paper. 148 of Rosarania, 200 Julio Rodriguez, 231 for Polanco, 222 for Naylor, 120 for Eugenio Suarez, Canzone 100, Robles 167, J.P. Crawford 217. We just can't hit the baseball, but the Mariners coming away. Any chance there, Joe? We're going to break down the game tonight. Was that an emotional win for the Mariners where now you decompress a little bit and Toronto gets the edge tonight? Any thoughts on them winning, then going on the road and winning game number 1?
Well, I mean, listen, quite honestly, at the Rogers Center, 3 runs shouldn't have been enough to beat this Toronto team the way they were swinging the bat. If anything, to me, it was Toronto exhaled after beating the Yankees. So, I mean, it was clear the energy that I watched last night with this Toronto was not the same energy they had going up against the big, bad New York Yankees. And they need to find that edge again here because Guerrero looked a shell of what he did in that series against the Yankees. So, I mean, he had 4 at-bats and hit 3 weak ground balls. So, kudos to the pitching staff of Seattle. But I don't think Seattle did anything extraordinary. I just think Toronto lost its edge in that game there, and that's what you got. A first pitch home run and then nothing else, Donnie.
Now, sometimes we talk about veterans that are used to the environment and used to playing in bigger baseball games, been around the block and not going to get nervous. I'm not downplaying that some, young pitchers can't handle situations. But tonight, Joe, 5:03 start. Seattle's going to throw Castillo. Toronto's going to throw Yusevich in this game. -126 is the opening number. The public is buying into a bounce-back performance from Toronto and a total that's listed at 7.5. The veteran versus the kid. Any ideas of the way you would play that, even regardless of how you think these pitchers will be, that maybe it's just too big of a spot for a young kid?
The last spot of it is probably no bigger spot than having to go up against the Yankees, right?
That's true.
That was a huge spot for him. And listen, he passed it. His stuff is electric. Make no mistake about it. I mean, he's more than capable of mowing them down. But unlike the Yankees, Toronto does a pretty good job of working counts. They put the bat on the ball. They force you to make some plays. So we'll see if he makes some mistakes. I think you are more likely to see this Toronto lineup take advantage of it, or this Mariners lineup rather to take advantage of it than we've gotten with the Yankees. So I like this kid. He is exactly the guy down 0-1 I think Toronto wants on the mound. Now they got to go out there, though, and handle business against Castillo, who's always been better in Seattle than he has been on the road.
Yeah, it should be a great environment there up in Toronto. If you are Toronto, you want to score first again here. Keep the crowd on your side. You don't want to get down 2 runs in the first 5 innings and, oh, no, down 0-2, heading back to Seattle. The series is just about over. The 7.5, Joe, if I look at that myself and say we get a 3-1 game here, and we're not worried about anything, baseball in October, it's really cold in the Northeast or whatever it is. It's a dome stadium, so you should have a pretty good hitting atmosphere. Any thoughts on the total in this game?
Yeah, I would look more or less here, Donnie, with I think runs could be coming in this one because Snell, is feast or famine, right? So he's either going to strike out 12 guys, which I don't think he's going to do against the Brewers, or he's going to walk 6 guys. The bullpen's going to get involved. Anytime I'm dealing with this bullpen of the Dodgers, short of a 2-hitter by Snell going 7 innings, I think there's an opportunity in the second half of this game to get some runs here. And they're going to have to cobble together enough innings once again, this Brewers team. To me, this could be a 5-4, maybe a 5-3 situation here. So that's the way I would look at it. I would look at the over in this spot.
How about the Dodgers and Milwaukee? Snell's going to be on the mound. He was brilliant in his first start here against the Philadelphia Phillies. You take a look at -148 price points here, -150s, depending where he's shopping at, and a total of 7.5. It's amazing to me. Like, this is game 1 of a series, which you weren't rushed into it, if you will. We don't even know who's going to be a starter. And you take a look at the Brewers, it's amazing they've gotten this far. It could be Quintana, Priester, an opener, or just a bullpen game. Yeah. How crazy Major League Baseball is at time. The Dodgers have a clear advantage tonight. Is that enough for the victory for the Dodgers? Or say, hey, man, look at Milwaukee's been doing this all year, but you don't even really have a pitching staff for game number 1? It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's a tough spot for Milwaukee, but it was a tough spot for Seattle. And the only difference is Milwaukee is still at home after the celebration and doing what they need to do. Don't have to fly back out to L.A. Plus, they already have the confidence of going 6-0 against the Dodgers this year. They know the lineup. They know the hitters. I give the edge early to Milwaukee in this one.
Woohoo! Let's see if the Brew Crew can continue on to a World Series run. We got bye coming up next. 2-0 on Friday. Anybody remember that, huh?
Hopefully these go better. I'm smashed before 1 on these games. I cannot believe that this game destroyed me. Why did I get involved live? That's on me. That
is on you.
All right.
That's on you.
You didn't have to run up the score. I said it was on me.
It was on you. You just didn't see the writing on the wall. Knee it! Let's get out of Dodge!
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Can I get an ISO? Come on. Give me the ISO over here.
Give me the ISO. He wants the camera.
Look, I'm going to get nice and comfortable right now. I've been telling you people out there, yes, you people, about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. My connection to the Irish growing up as a kid. I hated that team. But they called me at the network the most unbiased man here, which means I'm giving you the information straight from the mouth here. You don't have to go anywhere. You get it from me.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You're looking at Joe Burrow being the guy that I was in on the beginning of the year. Clearly, that is no longer an option. So where are we looking on this board? And I keep landing on the same thing, which is, Baker Mayfield's been kind of the story this year. Think about this. He's plus 950 for MVP. They look like right now one of the, if not the most formidable team in the NFC.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
I apologize to our fans. We need to do better. That's all you need to say, Scott, right? But Tua goes out there, my kids love me. I'm rich. I don't care. You got your dumbass coach coming out here, and we play to win. You got to win the game, and you got to win. And, the Dolphins press conferences make it way worse. If I was a Dolphin fan, I just want to punch these guys in the face.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
What a show. And we like to end it with a crescendo, which means giving you a couple of winning bets that you can go away into your night. But we're not going to get there first. This is the section of the show that we say, you know what? They heard us all for these 2 hours. We like to reach out to the public and hear what they have to say. Here's our Fade the Public poll. Now, you know, we can ask this poll in anything. Could have been Major League Baseball. Could have been when did the WNBA season end? But we're not going to waste your time because we love football and we love NFL football. Double header on the card tonight. You say, wait, you ask questions. I didn't get this question answered here. Where can I answer this question at? Go to SportsGrid on X, at SportsGrid here. Give it a follow. And the question was asked today. Simple. What is your best bet for tonight's Monday Night Football doubleheader? 4 options. The Bills minus 3.5. The Falcons plus 3.5. The Bears plus 5.5. The Commanders minus 5.5. It was easy. I would have said the Falcons at 4.5 if that were the price point, but I laid off. I went Bears 5.5. I think we get a close game down there in the nation's capital tonight. The Bears should be rested and ready. They could win this game, but I think they keep it close enough to cover the 5.5. That's where I went. But that wasn't the public favorite, Joe.
No, and listen, at 3.5, will it get down to 3 here? That's the other question. I don't think it's going to get there, so I would look to back Buffalo sooner rather than later if that's the way you want to go. Forget about Atlanta. You've already missed the best of the number here, but I like the totals in both these games a little bit more, but I get where the public is coming with the 3.5 here for the Bills being their favorite look.
Bills, people can't enough give the Bills tonight. I'll fade those public here. I'll go against those Buffalo Bills. It is what it is, people. Look, it's not a, pleasure at this point. Just business. Just business. Don't worry about it. That's how we deal with it. Now, you want business? Friday night. Joe Ranieri said, you know what, South Florida, look at them on the road. We ain't buying into the Mean Green and Denton. Hammer job. I told you I'm going to go against Scooball. And I said, I just need 3 runs. Yeah, it might have took 15, 16 innings, but the Mariners got their 3 runs. Huddle for Friday. Let's get to Monday. Here's bye. It ain't personal, Sonny. You ever hear that comment before? It's not. Just business, baby. What do you got tonight, Joe? Where are we going?
It is just money, though. I'm still laughing about that South Florida win over North Texas on Friday for us here, Donnie's. We swept the board once again. But tonight I'm going to go little Monday Night Football, and I am going to be backing the under in this Buffalo and Atlanta game. And here is why. The reality of this situation is if I'm Atlanta, I need to control this game on the ground. I need to milk the clock. I need to shorten the game, especially as a home underdog here. Not to mention, they are already, I think they have the 7th highest run average here, the percentage of running plays that they run in a game anyway. This is not a situation against this Bills defense where I'm going to be wanting to drop back and take shots and do all of these crazy things and hurry up and give the ball back to Josh Allen. So I think Atlanta is going to want to slow this game down. And also history tells us Sean McDermott off a loss with these Bills. They get very conservative after a loss. And here's what I mean. The last 28 games that they have played after a loss, only 9 have gone over. The rest, 19, have gone under here. The Bills are also going to run the ball. They're going to keep this thing close to the vest. They're not going to be looking to prove any points. I'll take the under in this one here tonight.
Josh Allen, like they used to call Randall Cunningham in the late 80s and early 90s, the ultimate weapon, which he is. That's why that total's listed at 49.5. No weather conditions that we're worried about. So for me, I'm going to keep it in NFL action. I'm going to keep it on Monday Night Football. And I'm also going to go down that same path that Joe Ranieri is working in the game between the Buffalo Bills and the Atlanta Falcons. But for me, I am going to truly fade the public. You just saw that fade the public poll here. They love the Buffalo Bills. Well, make sure you're shopping around to get the best possible price points. FanDuel 3.5, DraftKings 4.5, BetMGM 4, Bet365 3.5. Give me the 4.5, and I'll go contrarian on the Atlanta Falcons. A rested team at home, fully capable of putting up points against that Buffalo team. I'm not calling for an outright upset, but I do think the Atlanta Falcons will be competitive in this game in a 1-score environment in the fourth quarter, and I will take the 4.5 points. Come on, Bijan. Big night, kid. Big night. How about that, Joe?
Yep. I love it. Keep an eye on
Let's
that
go.
on the weather as well with the with this nor'easter running through. I think there is opportunities here in this spot here for your Bears, but they got to prove it, Donnie. This is the game. We've got to see it on the road. They got to get it done under the bright lights.
Doubleheader in baseball, doubleheader in football. It's how we get down on the early line. We bring that impact to you. But the best part about it, Donnie Rightside and Joe Ranieri, we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning right here on the grid.